with a big ball.
So, that's a great take there from Diaz. Good work in the air, and Werakun will put the ball high and handsome for the back three to handle. In fact, it's one of the forwards that comes up and does the work, Ivanchenko.
That's a big number 5. And that's something Sri Lanka will be doing quite a lot, Mikey. We're going to put the ball up as much as we can and try and rush defense. Don't let the Kazakhs take the luxury of space to run on.
So this is what Kazakhstan want to do, tire the legs of the Sri Lankans. Play very direct rugby. They're big, strong lads, and they love the contact. But of course, the Sri Lankans, well, they've muscled up as well over the last few years. Zanzatov gets taken down by the skipper. Good tackle.
That's right. Good commitment from the skip, making sure that he leads by example. That's what Yoshida does. And here's the Kazakhs now with the luxury of ball, just trying a sleight of hand. They will try and do this all the way up the park.
So they spread it wide now. It's Abdul Razakov, crash ball. So some good recycling. Vladimir Chernik, the aged veteran, like a fine cheese, playing at tight head prop.
He's been there for a while, hasn't he, Mike?
Well, they've put his birth date back to 1983, which would make him 30, but he's at least 45 years old, Vladimir.
Fair enough, mate. In this weather, let's hope he survives the 30 or the 45.
Well, there's 2 runs up for him already.
So that's the 20 meters he's used up in his first half, all gone. Here we go. Wide ball.
There's Malefontov again. Now see there, number 6, as we mentioned earlier, Gaselnikov, a scrum half. Normally he's playing at flanker, but using his distribution skills well there. And here they come again, punching it up through Menchikov.
Great phase play, and they earn themselves a penalty. Mike, it's going to be a case that, Kazakhstan will throw everything at Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, for their part, will have to absorb as much pressure as they can. Be patient, play these first 15 minutes, and then try to see what they can settle up to.
So the big number 3 for Sri Lanka, Kishore Jahan. Chiller, I think they call him, is that right?
They do.
Penalised there in the ruck.
Plenty of him as well to not miss. He's Chiller to his mates and plays up in the Candy Club. So he's given away the first big penalty, first 3 for him. This lad Maxim has got a good boot on him, hasn't he, mate?
165 Asian Five Nation points. Highest scorer ever in Asian Five Nations rugby. Made his debut for Kazakhstan as a 16-year-old.
So understands pressure quite nicely, and he's shown us what he can do in Colombo. There he is, the first 3 for first points on the board in this Asian Five Nations Division final. Mike, it's going to be interesting to see what Sri Lanka will do in the next 15 minutes. As I said, part of the plan is to absorb that pressure. They should then try and test Kazakhstan a little bit behind their defensive lines, and maybe try and stall this big rolling container-like pack they have.
It's going to be a big ask, but I do like the way that Sri Lanka are playing. They've got some big men in their loose forward trio now. They've got Saranga at 8 and Fernando at 6, and I was talking to Ravin Duplessis, the coach, earlier, and he feels as though they're natural loose forwards. He loves the way that Charo runs the ball, number 6, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of that once Sri Lanka gets in possession. And Saranga, well, he's a very athletic man, isn't he?
Too true, and all of these lads are part of the 7th squad as well for Sri Lanka. They've been on the Asian series, as you have seen. There's a Kazakh player walking off the park, number 5, Mike.
He's just got a bit of blood on his forehead there, so they'll probably stitch that up.
Blood bin.
Yeah.
That's a 5-minute call, isn't it?
Well, these days you get a bit longer, I think, for that.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
So he's off the park, and the doctors are being he's been worked across to the ambulance, which is parked in the corner of the ground. So here's a good restart from Riza.
Zanzatov, the captain, can't handle properly, but here's the new man on the park, Polyakov, who's been penalised straight away.
So good chance for Sri Lanka to reply straight away. Rajapaksa takes it very quickly.
So this is Sri Lanka's turn to apply some pressure here on Kazakhstan. The crowd building and showing their appreciation to Marija. Out to Gayan. This is to Leonaga. And it's
Simon Herat, try time!
Well done, Herat. The flyer from the Havelocks club goes over in the corner. First try, first blood really to Sri Lanka.
That's what it's all about. This is what they've practiced.
So Herat going over in the corner. What a player he is, what a find.
Absolutely, Mike. He's comes from a district called Kurunagala. It's way in the middle of Sri Lanka, and he's graduated from St. Peter's, now come through to Havelocks, and now for Sri Lanka. Outstanding. Really has got a good turn of pace, and he's a strong kid as well. He's got a fab sidestep on him. But if you go back and see the replay, it was all from Naman Rajapaksa taking that quick tap, committing the Kazakhs quickly, turning them around a little bit, and then the wide ball on the outside from Fazil Majid did the trick.
So Mubarak, who's done well with the boot so far this tournament himself, 27 points in 2 games. Make it 7 points to 3, and straight through the uprights, enough distance on it, and it's 7-3 with just a couple of minutes played. It's been an exciting opening stanza.
True, Mikey, and that's a good reply from Sri Lanka. It's really what you need to do. Don't stay too far away, we always say. And, when you have that sort of opportunity, take it quickly, and that's what they've done. So good confidence as well for the Sri Lankan side to try and settle up a little bit more.
Ravin Duplessis, the coach, was mentioning that they really want to score 4 tries today and entertain the crowd. That's the way they like to play positive rugby, and that's good to hear. Lefontov restarts, has a beautiful hanging kick, but Diaz is equal to it.
Well, Diaz is a double international as well, Mike. He plays basketball for Sri Lanka.
It shows there he really can fly.
Look at that. Nobody interested.
Here's Sharo Fernando. Oh, unfortunate incident there from Stiken, getting underneath the man that was jumping in the air. Otsuki will take a dim view of this, I'm sure.
That was very unfortunate because I don't think it was intentional. He was just in the way.
Yeah.
Sharo did really well to bounce back over. He turned well. Have a look at this on slow motion. Taken it. Oof. He was just in the way, Mike. I don't think it was part of he wasn't really trying to tackle him at all.
No, but it is dangerous, and even if it's accidental, that'll probably be a penalty kick, I'd imagine. He's consulting Taizo Hirabayashi and bringing Stiken forward.
There's a big discussion going on between the skipper and the kicker, Riza. Are they going to the corner, or are they going to go to pick the tee up and try and get to the uprights?
Let's just have a listen. A wise decision there from Otsuki. Just the penalty, no yellow card. As you said, there was no malice in it, but certainly dangerous. So this will be a chance for Mubarak to extend the lead. Really caused there. I don't know what Vladimir Chernik, the tight head prop, was doing back in back play there, and he wasn't going to take that ball, had no interest whatsoever, and that led to that situation for Stiken.
True, and he actually didn't even nominate anything. He just looked behind him and let the ball bounce, and that's why the other player was under pressure.
It's a great player. Reads out Mubarak, spent some time in the Western Province. Storm is under 21, so wide range of experience for the young fullback. Crowd respectfully hush.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Has he got the legs?
Got under it a bit, but it's managed to squeeze between the uprights.
It just crawled over the crossbar.
It's 10 points to 3.
True. And there's Riza now, a slightly better feeling as a player when you run back, having managed to get your job done. So good for Sri Lanka. But Kazakhs, let's see what they will do. They've not really put their hand up after that first initial penalty. So the Kazakh skipper will be having words with his side. In the meantime, Sri Lanka settle up for the restart.
He's really got this kickoffs working well. It'll just go the 10 metres. Or, in fact, the referee says no, it won't. So it must have come off the Kazakh shoulder just before the 10-metre line. And Sri Lanka electing for a scrum there.
Well, Sri Lanka will look to try and get China one ball, Mike. I don't think they want to spend too much time in the front row down here, knowing the weight and the thrust of the Kazakhs. They'll try to grind Sri Lanka as much as possible. Interesting to see the pack weight difference.
Yeah, Sri Lanka there with an advantage. But the two flankers for Kazakhstan, quite lightweight characters, as we said. One scrum half, Goselnikov, and the other, Pristinsky, making his debut at 19 years old, only 86 kilos. So
that's well held by Sri Lanka. As Saranga takes the ball now. Viratna with the little pop over the top.
Probing kick. Kazakhstan still not being able to take the ball. Head up, doing well there. Setting up for an attack here. Marija into a pod there of big men, which includes Pereira.
That's big Hasita Pereira, the number 5. There's Marja.
Out to Gayan Viratna. Well, probably not what he was intending to do, but still a little territorial advantage Devery there looking a little frustrated. I'm sure he'll want to get a run with the ball too, the lightning quick left wing.
Yes, very much so, Mike. He's had a good tournament so far. He's scored some cracking tries, but he needs a little bit of space to start up on. So that's one of the requirements that Sri Lanka will be looking to try and get early ball across to him.
Here's the hooker, Sarichev. Interesting as we talk about Kazakhstan positional changes. Menchikov, the loose head prop, had about 10 internationals at hooker and then moved to loose head prop. There's a lot of that interchanging going on with the Kazakhstan team as Lefontov fluffs his kick slightly, gets it down, and Sri Lanka
terrible kick
into the wind slightly. Herath there at the back of the ruck, securing the ball for Ratna. Morija. Oh, it was a good pass, but nobody running the right line there, running inside, drifting in field. So it was a turnover. Kazakhstan's chance with Akimbikov.
Akimbikov had a very good game the last match against Chinese Taipei.
He's really come into his own as an inside back. Started his career as a wing. He's a virtual stick figure weighing about 80 kilos. He certainly put on some Kazakhstan beef now. Oh, there was Zanzikov running at 1,000,000 miles an hour there, but just couldn't get the ball.
There's some stuff going on the deck as well. Let's see what the touch judge has to say. Referee's indicating not forward, but there's a player on the deck. And if you saw on the replay, Mikey, there was a little bit of argy-bargy on the deck. Have a look at that. There's that boy restricting him, is lying on him. He won't let him go. And eventually, Sharo Fernando just has to elbow himself off the deck.
Well, the assistant referee seems to be happy. Taidzo Hirabayashi with no indication of any hanky-panky going on. So Abdul Razakov lying prone on the ground there. No sympathy from the referee.
None whatsoever. But if you see that replay again, he was on the deck, and in fact, I think there was one body lying on top of the other, and he was just trying to get himself off the deck. Here he is. There. Watch that. There is Sharo just trying to get out. And just the number 12 there.
Even gave his teammate Saranga a kick as well for his troubles.
Early days here. Fabulous. Havelocks all dressed up for the occasion. Sri Lanka, of course, hosting the Asian Division 1 Championships. The HSBC, Mikey, you can't ask for better than this, can you?
Oh, well, the heat's certainly gone off literally. 2 o'clock, 1:30 we started the early game, and it was 38, 37 degrees, and now it's cooled down nicely. As Ratna snipes well, Herat. There's a foot and touch there, I think, earlier on.
I think so. I think Sandon Herat was already in touch by the time he received that ball. But Viratna generally in Sri Lanka is regarded as a sort of a ninth forward. Plays a lot, spends a lot of time underneath that radar. Quite effective.
Herat and the two wings are from the Havelocks club, I believe, and they won the league this year. That's a good turn-up for them.
After many years, Mikey, they had spent about 10-12 years waiting in the wings, and this year they were very, very good. Last season, rather.
Good line out there for Kazakhstan. Free kick. Numbers in the line out there for Sri Lanka. So will they elect for a scrum here, or looks like they've got a tap move going.
Full house. That is the First Lady, Mikey.
Yeah.
Just sat there.
Miss Sri Lanka 1973, I believe.
Yes.
So Kazakhstan electing to tap and turn this one around quickly, but
and make a complete mess of it.
Yes, well, it's not their style of play, is it?
Well, do you think they're going to try and adapt to try and deal with the weather conditions, try and slow it down a little bit? Or, I mean, it seems that they have to over-plan. You're talking to the coach, and he was saying he made the initial mistake of coming out in the sun. Today they spent all the time in the dressing room, only walked out. They sent their three-quarters out. The forwards never came out at all.
Yeah, very true. There's a couple of men on the ground here. Could have been a head clash. Two Sri Lankans looking worse for wear. The captain, Rajapaksa, one of them.
Yes, I think so. And there's concern for the Rajapaksa. Hopefully he's just getting a little bit of ice treatment. Taking the scrum cap off. Seems okay. So he's back up on the park with the good courage to the side.
Well, of course, last year, Sri Lanka getting themselves into position to be promoted again. 2011 top 5 team, relegated when they came back, and they fell over at the last hurdle against the Philippines. Do you think they've learnt any lessons from that? Sean?
I think we've learned a ton of lessons, Mikey. I think also the fact that we didn't have our full side out, we were only represented 50% of the club sides were playing available for Sri Lanka at the time. Big, huge pile up on the deck. Is it turnover ball?
Good defensive rucking there from Sri Lanka, and Viratna can see the ball. Gets it out to Leonage, comes right to Marija. The crowd stand as well. They're excited. Good run from Marija, inside ball.
Oh!
Just a bit too late. Didn't time that one to head out at all. But Marija's turned it over nicely. Here's Jehan.
Just a little bit short there. Fazil should have offloaded a little bit quickly.
But they're still not over.
Numbers on the line.
This could be the chance for Devare. Gets the ball finally. Let's see what he's got. He's an action-packed little man.
But well covered there on this occasion by the number 15, Timov. Ball still available for Sri Lanka.
Saranga takes it to contact.
Nicely cleaned out on the deck.
Viratna gets it left again. This time it's Kayan Viratna. Big tackle there from Lefontov. Absolutely planted Viratna into the ground. Smashed him well and truly. Baratov, clearing kick from Abdul Razakov. Goes into touch. I think the referee's calling him back though for a scrum.
Good clatter, Mikey. Good clatter from the number 15 for Kazakhstan. Took out Viratna good and proper.
It was a big, strong tackle. He's not noted for his, but certainly brave on that occasion. So here's a scrum that Sri Lanka would love to exploit. They just need to turn this one, get Kazakhstan hemmed in to the touchline. As we see here, this tackle again.
There it is. Viratna should have popped the ball, really.
Yes, there's some good shoulder there for Lefontov. And lets him know too.
He told him his name and his jersey number.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Sri Lanka have got the edge in scrums. They've got the weight advantage, and with that big bookend Jehan, they seem to be really doing well.
Well, Satya Ranatunga on one side and Kishore Jehan on the other. Outstanding props. Holding their own really now and using that weight advantage to as much a gain as possible, Mike.
So important scrum here for Kazakhstan. They're proud men full of machismo. They won't be enjoying that at scrum time. Zanzatov under pressure.
And going back in the process, so
Abdul Razakov cleaning out nicely though, supporting him. And Akimbakov gets the kick away. He really has developed. When they threw him in to fly half, he was all at sea back in 2009, but he's coping well now, and he's put some beef on, and he's not scared of the contact. So you have to have the confidence as a fly half to be able to go to ground or take some contact when you're hemmed in. And he's certainly got the confidence to do that now, as we see Namal put this ball into the line out. Good take again.
That's the big link for us in Sri Lanka. The Namal Dias link is very, very important.
Could be a different Dias tonight, the victory Dias that we're standing on at the end of the 80 minutes, hopefully. And here's Namal taking the ball away. Good rolling maul from Sri Lanka. They really are putting the heat on this Kazakhstan pack. Marija, he's got all sorts of options. Goes to Mubarak, I think it was, running in from fullback.
Oh dear, Sri Lanka's just overzealous really on the deck there. Maybe committing too many to the deck and preventing the ball from coming out. Holding on, says referee. Dabre, the guilty party.
And Ivanchenko, only had 17 minutes in this game, but he's been in the wars. Marija down as well. The hits are coming thick and fast.
Well, it does come down to recovery because you really have to have the ability to recover quickly. Without your rehydrate, you just suck on a bit of ice really and then stand up again. So if you haven't been practicing in this weather, it's going to be a little tough. There it is again on the...
Big kick from Lefontov to clear the pressure as Veselnikov talking to the rest of his pack. Assistant referee Aaron Littlewood there.
Kazakhstan walking to that line out, taking as much time as they possibly can to get to that mark.
Well, the pressure's on them to score points at the moment. They're really going to have to play positively. It's Sarichev to put the ball into this line out. down the back. Didn't look straight to Ivanchenko. Going to play on though. Baratov. Kimbakov, and defence is up very quickly there. Good work from Gayan Willaratne. Really getting up fast in the faces. Here's Chernik again. They call him Baltika is his nickname, which basically means sailor man. He does look a bit like Popeye, and he's not been able to release there, and he's had a bit to say to referee Otsuki as well. I don't know if he can speak Japanese, but
he's still talking.
They seem to understand each other.
He's still having a word in his own little way.
Well, it's a bit of a mystery on how old Chernik is, but he played games for the USSR back in the late 80s and 90s, so that'll give you some idea that he's well into his 40s, still playing international rugby.
He's been around, in other words.
And there's the other end of the scale, the new man, Medvedkin. He's 21 years old. And they had a big unit who was banned on Wednesday, Anton Makarenko, for a tit-tac.
That in that last brief, and he was also saying that they only managed to bring 24 out here today, or at least to Sri Lanka on this trip. Yeah, that red card, he's copped 5 weeks, I believe, in terms of time off, so it's interesting. There was 2 red cards in that game, which was unfortunate.
So Mubarak with another penalty attempt. The crowd behind the post like it, and he's dead-eye Dick today.
Fabulous, absolutely spot on. Bisecting the uprights, giving Sri Lanka that little bit of a lilt. 13 points to 3, leading Kazakhstan. This is what it's all about, really. Sri Lanka have to keep this momentum. They have to maintain their little balance. All they have to do is get the W or a draw. They're done.
Yeah, even a small loss will probably see them through today, I think.
There is an equation, though. We were talking about that. Yeah. Is it Lewis and Duckworth or Duck and Lou, or whichever way you want to call it? There is a 7-point requirement in the first water break. You can see the faces of the Sri Lankan players slugging in the water as much as possible. It is tough because you've got to really rehydrate really quickly, give the muscle back the depleted energy. Otherwise, you're just going to peak down.
So if you were Coach Masharov, what would you be saying to the Kazakhstan players at the moment? Obviously, they're not winning the tight exchange. It's going to be very difficult for them.
I'm going to have to say, what can you do? There he is now giving it a little bit of lip and saying, listen, we talked about this in the dressing room. You are not delivering. What is going wrong? Talk, walk, slow it down.
Nice message. So even the locals feeling the heat there.
He's very animated, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's been there and done that. He was their number 8 until last year. He's played on one leg for about 2 years. His knee was absolutely gone, and really likeable character, Timur Masharov, one of the personalities of Asian rugby. A real natural leader of men, and a smart guy. Got a degree, can speak 5 languages: English, Russian, Turkish, Kazakhstani. So
must be frustrating though as well for him. I mean, to be able to, he was saying he felt that they just needed to settle in a little bit quicker and settle down to what they had been playing as a format, but they haven't been doing that. They've been shocked by the weather and then have absorbed it badly. So in terms of reaction, they're doing stuff that they haven't really practiced, and that's why they're going quite a little bit wrong.
Well, head-to-head over the years, these two teams have played each other 6 times. Sri Lanka have only won once, back in 2005, 24 points to 12 here in Colombo, and well, Kazakhstan over the years have put some big victories on, 79-6 in 2007, so the Sri Lankan team looking as though they may take a second victory for the country, as Dias takes the ball again, safe pair of hands, and Kazakhstan in there off their feet. Referee Otsuki seems happy though. Willaratne looked to box kick, but then faked it back to Marija. He won't want to put that ball on the full. He has, so we'll go back to inside the 22.
That was an error, an unforced error really, and Riza Mubarak at the back there just overshot They had plenty of time, but just the little mistake. Now, these are the things that you got to mark up, because little mistakes that will give Kazakhstan the ball back, and an opportunity just to march up the park is what you don't want.
So again, taking their time to get to this line out. Ivanchenko is their main target here in this pot of 4 men. In fact, we've got a late comer to the party as well. Menchikov takes his place at the front of the line out, so Otsuki will allow Sri Lanka
an extra man in
to come in. Yeah.
It's okay. 5 is number.
Sarichev, good attacking option here for Kazakhstan. Oh, they go for a fake at the front. Barakov takes the ball and they set up the ruck. Calling an inside run, it's Chernik, but he's faked out to Kimbakov. It's Abdul Razakov who crashes through. Good strong runner, Abdul Razakov. So they go left, come back the other way into the forwards. Menchikov, good strong runner Menchikov, but they're well over the ball there, Sri Lanka in defence. Jehan doing his best to roll away. Kimbakov, again, that defensive line is up so quickly. Outstanding pressure there from Sri Lanka, and the line speed in defence is immense for Sri Lanka.
Well, that's part of a plan. I think the defensive coaches have been working. Ben Gollins in particular has been very, very critical about how soon Sri Lanka will get up on their opposite numbers. And part of the story is don't give the luxury to the opposite side to have space.
Raven Duplessis coming from the Stormers originally as well, and they've always been the guys who've always had one man come up incredibly fast, the umbrella defence. And we see that with Gayan Weeraratne as well. He's up very quickly as his brother clears into empty territory here too. Lefontov happy for Stikin to take this ball. Under pressure here too. Lefontov not getting behind the ball carrier, putting Stikin in all sorts of trouble. They've managed to get it back, but yes, the referee, of course, with the new laws, only 5 seconds to use that ball and recycle it.
No hands wide!
Which does not suit Kazakhstan's style of play whatsoever. Baratov, again, going through the motions. Here's Pristinsky. His first start of the tournament. Great defensive rucking there from Sri Lanka. It's the alligator, Pereira. That's his new nickname, apparently. That's a good clearing kick there from Lefontov. Goes back to Mubarak. Little chip kick. Nice kick too into space. Good work there from Zolotuhin though. Places it back on a plate there for Baratov. Nice work from him. Huge pass from Baratov, but it's gone to Ivanchenko. I think with that blood injury, he's not having the happiest day with his vision. No knock on, they went backwards. Now see here Kazakhstan not getting into position quickly. We'll see Vilselnikov with an aimless kick. You can see there were no runners there. They were all making their way back. Now it's Sri Lanka's turn to fall. There's an unforced error there from Pereira. Tidied up though. Crashes forward.
Ball went back, luckily, Mike.
Ranatunga. Good arm wrestling stuff here from the men in white. Weeraratne gets it back to Mubarak. He decides he's going to go for a drop goal. It's fading to the right though. Lefontov will be in no hurry to plant this down. In fact, he probably wants to go dead. No, it's placed nicely, a metre in play, so they'll come back for the 22.
Just trying to soak up as much time, Kazakhstan, hoping that you can see the body language. They're just sucking in the oxygen as much as possible. Sri Lanka, for their part, very well adjusted, of course. So Sri Lanka really have to bide their time. Patience is a big key for them here.
Lefontov plays his professional rugby in Siberia for NSC Krasnoyarsk, and they're used to sub-zero temperatures there. He doesn't quite know what to make of this. Mubarak. Oh, nice step from Marija. And it's the big man raging out wide. Diaz, inside ball. No, he fakes it himself. Gets the legs popping. He's over. Great individual try from Chanel Diaz.
Now, that's what you want to see from your big number 5. The ability to take the ball on the 50-meter line, step in 2 tackles, and just run all the way down. He's one of the fittest lads in the Sri Lankan pack. Just showing why he's a double international. Outstanding play from the number 5. Chanel Diaz, fabulous.
Good work from Marija too. He just faked the ball, held the ball up, and that gave some room outside. Debare as well, drawing and passing nicely. Baratov there missing a crucial tackle. And you're right, once the big man got into space and was pumping those big thighs, there was no stopping.
Outstanding. Ariza Mubarak with a regulation kick, bread and butter stuff for him now. Chanel Daz, of course, wonderful to see. There were some question marks because he's studying in America, and it's a university time for him, so he was able to defer one of his semesters and stay back and play rugby for his country. Good commitment as well. Wonderful.
So Mubarak with a chance for a conversion, his easiest kick of the day. Gets it out to 20 points to 3. So this is a great opening stanza here for Sri Lanka, on course to make the top 5 for 2014. Of course, we've got to play this year's tournament yet. That'll be an interesting prospect as well, with Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, UAE, and the newcomers, the Philippines.
Well, yes, very much so. Sri Lanka missed out in the Philippines by 2 tries in the end. And, you know, the considerations back in Sri Lanka were, why could we not? And, of course, now we've seen the quality of the Sri Lankan side this year. I think the question will be a lot less.
So it'll be interesting to see how the Philippines go this year. We're all waiting with bated breath to see if they can cope with the intensity of top 5 rugby as Lefontov kicks off again. Saranga this time under the ball. Doesn't make any ground. That's a good tackle from Pristinsky. So he's hemmed him inside the 22. Clearing kick here from Mubarak. Gets it out and relieves the pressure a bit. But again, we see Chernik standing in the back here. So let's just take a look at there's Chernik. The last try again, the running style of Diaz. And once he cut inside and beat Baratov, he managed to maintain his pace there too. Lefontov was surprised.
What a great side. Big man running fast with the ball. Always good for rugby.
Free kick here. Kazakhstan can't get the ball in time. Too much of a delay, so Roshan Weeraratne goes for a little snipe. Round he goes. At pace here, the Sri Lankans. Held nicely though on the 10-metre line. Weeraratne. Marija reaches but can't cope. Chillaboy gets it. Big 120-kilo tight head prop.
Sets it up nicely. Thank you very much.
This time it's Mubarak. He had plenty of time to assess his options, and that's not a bad one. Threads it through the defence and makes the halfway line. But even now you can see Kazakhstan really not coping with the pace of this game.
Well, you got a feel for them, Mike. They're going to have to try and summon up some more energy, get some glucose and some sort of aid. So stuck down a little bit of vitamin B, hopefully, just to pep up.
So Tsuki not happy with this line-out setup. 9-out setup. Four-man line-out, and it's Gaselnikov who goes up. The little man does well though. Akimbakov. Sadechev takes it and sets it up at the halfway line. Here's Menchikov making a couple of meters. But they've held him up nicely here. It's a maul. Sri Lanka also working on this during the week. Well, they managed to get it out though. Akimbakov goes into contact. Big strong run from him. The Kazakhstan pack like getting up behind him. And Baratov though a little bit slow now. Ivanchenko. He's a raw-boned character, Ivanchenko. But they're making ground by inches rather than meters here. Still looking for willing runners too. You can see a couple of forwards hanging off. More than happy to go through the motions. Akimbakov, Abdurazakov. Well, but Zakharov has dropped the ball. Lefontov with a break, but of course the knock on earlier. So again, good defence here for Sri Lanka. The centre pairing very experienced here from Kazakhstan, Zakharov and Abdurazakov, but no way through there. Marija doing well too.
So true, and the experience of Marija also tell him, because he's been around the park for a very long time. Outstanding number 10 for Sri Lanka. And as you were saying, Mike, it's the rush defense. Sri Lanka's going to get up very, very quickly, leave absolutely no room for Kazakhstan to maneuver.
First saw Norwegia on the international stage, I think, at the Hong Kong Tens a few years ago. He played for the Asian Barbarians, and everybody was asking questions. Who's this young man? Where's he come from? And he's got some real skill, especially when he's surrounded by quality international players. As you see a free kick, Baratov takes it quickly. Abdulrazakov looks for support. It's Chernik who's dropped it on.
Tired hands from the looks of things.
Yeah, we saw him just in the last couple of rucks hanging on with the back taking a breather. Half an hour into this game, so still plenty to go. Kazakhstan look like they'll be sentenced to another year in Division 1 unless they can turn this round extra quickly.
Sri Lanka can earn the bonus point, Mike. I think we're very much in business.
2 tries already from Sri Lanka, so Wiratma really trying to put the acid on now. There's another probing kick. This back three for offside play there too from Kazakhstan. A knock on, the Kazakhstan player taking it, although referee obviously adjudging that it didn't go forward, so Kazakhstan allowed to play on. Beautiful spiralling punt from Lefontov, whose turn.
Well, we've seen Lefontov's 40-50 meter punt all the time. His up and unders are huge, and it's something that he was doing very effectively against Chinese Taipei. Hasn't had the opportunity against Sri Lanka as yet, but it will be interesting to see. But if you're looking at the body language, if you're looking at the amount of forwards lying on the deck for Kazakhstan, it's going to be tough going in the next 40 minutes.
You hit the nail on the head there, Sean Pereira. Ex-Harlequins man, I believe, played in UK for a while.
In the old days, whoop there, as they say.
Kimbakov takes it. Well, nice run here from Zanzatov. That is a huge collision there. Baratov gets it quickly to Kimbakov. Again, the defense so quick up. Kimbakov, though, running well. Takes it back into the traffic, though. Baratov to Pratinsky. Again, looks like he may be a converted back. What a big man. Akimbakov with an inside ball. Zanzaitov again testing the defence. He loves to run from deep. And there'll be a penalty. We're coming back here. Not rolling away, the Sri Lankan captain. So Kazakhstan will be happy with a penalty, but they really need to start scoring some tries if they're going to have a presence in this game.
That's a wonderful sight there, Mike. His Excellency the President, the Honourable Minister of Sport, the President of Sri Lanka Rugby, and also the Minister of Trade and Commerce.
Well, of course, rugby is very popular here in Sri Lanka, and obviously you need people in positions of influence to help out and make sure that everything's under control, so it's great to see.
Absolutely. It's unifying the whole story. We talk about sport being the point of unification, and there's something that we're looking at very seriously here in Sri Lanka. And sport can cut through all of that. It can bring people together.
Well, he could have kicked that an extra 20 metres. That's a remarkable kick from Lefontov. Makes it 20 points to 6. The penalties are not going to do it today for Kazakhstan. They really need to regroup, and well, we saw some great runs there from Zanzatov, the captain, leading from the front. He'll need to do some more of that. And also these two guys, Zakharov and Abdulrazakov, the centres, a lot of responsibility on them as well.
Well, I think the skipper was running from depth in that game against Chinese Taipei, and he did some amazing work. Great carry, huge gains for him. He hasn't had the luxury of that in this game, so we're interested to see what they will do in the second half.
Warak with a restart. Gets it nice and deep inside the 22. Guselnikov. And Lefontov again puts it down to Devare. Mubarak, who decides to go for a gallop. Up and under this time midfield. Guselnikov's under it. The scrum half turned flanker. Good catch into the sun from him.
A good mark as well in the process. I think he wasn't quite sure where he was. But good awareness from the scrum half.
Here's Zanzatov, the captain. And well, that's the other thing about Kazakhstan for FIFA. Obviously, they play in the European competitions. For rugby Asian, you just need to look at some of the faces to see there's a real Asian strain there, and Zanzatov and some of the players. And Dabare gets it to the side. Oh, a piece of trickery there from the Sri Lankans, and basically surrender from the Kazakhstan team. Happy to put it out and go for a line out.
You're talking about FIFA, and then it just comes up and boots the ball in the process.
So you're happy with the depth off the bench for Sri Lanka today? There's a few names that I haven't seen. Henry Terrence, obviously an experienced front rower, but Werakun, he played in the Philippines last year. He's obviously a man with a lot of potential.
True, and in fact we're playing him at standby scrum half actually. So he has an option of coming in at 10 or at 9.
Good line out one from Yoshika there. Midfield this time with Dayan Wiratna. Penalty, Kazakhstan on the deck, trying to get in with their hands. Abdulrazakov, and again dissension from the Kazakhstan team. They really got to learn to keep that under control. Unnecessary, really.
A little bit of frustration, Mike, creeping into the game. You know, tired minds, the heat is getting to them, and they've got to maintain that discipline. It's a big giveaway if they start to go from here. It's the only spiral down.
Well, we talked about football again too, didn't we? And that's Zanzatov there giving them a lecture, and the dissension you see in football is not something that is nice, and would hate that to creep into rugby.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it's going to come anywhere near. It's just a different game, different players.
It was a very effective tackle there from Abdulrazakov, taking him under the buttocks and dragging him to the ground, and he thought he had rights there to go on with his hands, but the ruck had started, sadly for him. He was trying to explain his side of the story to the referee, Otsuki, but he wasn't interested in hearing it.
Absolutely. I think he just justified it himself, saying that, put my hands up, I can contest the ball. Referee said, sorry mate, I decide.
So Mubarak is 4 from 4 so far today, if you don't count the drop kick. This one's going to be a testing kick, 46 metres out, although he has a breeze at his back. And he swept that one through the post. Safe and sound from Reza Mubarak, 23 points to 6.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. But Sri Lanka will be saying Coach Du Plessis will be a little bit comfortable now. He needs a few more tries, I think. 2 more tries would do it. That would be part of the requirement.
Just a couple of minutes till half-time. I really feel there's an urgency here with Kazakhstan, the captain leading with his men to move forward and get back into this game, as Lafontov again with a high hanging kick. Saranga's under it, takes it nicely, copes well with the swarming defence too in his face. Roshan Wiratna with a high and handsome box kick. Who's down there this time? It's Ivanchenko, the bloodbin man, who's dropped the ball. Namal Rajapaksa tries to kick through, but will come back for the knock-on from Ivanchenko. I just don't understand the mentality of having the tight forwards back there to retrieve the ball when you've got Lafontov the fullback, Stick in the wing. Why are we constantly seeing these tight forwards back ready to try and catch a ball?
Interesting formation, obviously. Something not planned. You don't really want your prop and your number 5 standing back to receive kicks, because you're not going to go too far.
Approach!
And Chernik with a smile on his face. He loves scrum time. So good solid platform here from Sri Lanka. Roshan Marija takes the line on well, steps through too, goes his way through. Dayan Tiliamage, and he'll go through for the try. Great set piece move there from Sri Lanka. Beautiful rugby. Let's use the football analogy again. The beautiful game played by Sri Lanka.
There you go, Mike. Absolute. This is classic vintage Fazil Marja for you. Just hitting so hard, he steps in and he can actually break any line. One-on-one, Marja is an outstanding footballer. Look at him, look at that, just gone past, and then the perfect offload. And then, of course, these players, all 3 of them, have been playing together for the last 5 years. The understanding is crystal clear.
Should we say sweet from the Candy Trio?
I wouldn't go to that pun, unfortunately, but I have no choice. Absolutely sweet.
Yes. Leonage, with 2 tries already in the tournament. That's his 3rd, and he's coming up to 30, Leonage, so he's probably one of the oldest members of the squad, but experience is a good thing to have, and I'm sure he'll be one of the first names on the team sheet next year in top 5 rugby as Mubarak goes for his 6th successful kick.
Absolutely, and also a very fit 30-year-old, I have to say that, Mike. Really does do a lot of graft work. Mubarak absolutely on the spot. A dart bisecting the uprights. Quite outstanding rugby from the Sri Lankan back line. Thank you very much to the forwards for recovering all that ball, I suppose. And then Fazim Maja. This is what he does best. Look at that. Hands, offload, inch perfect. And Leonage from that distance. Laya, they call him. He's got feet that you can't imagine.
So a great try for Sri Lanka to put the icing on the cake as far as the first half goes. The score at the moment 30 points to 6. Sri Lanka over Kazakhstan, so they really are in the driving seat to head to top 5 rugby next year. Mubarak, one of their heroes, and well, there's going to be some talking and debating at the dressing room at Kazakhstan.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the coach has to say and to whom he has to say.
So 30 points to 6. Join us after the break. We'll have more rugby for you here from Colombo on the HSBC Asian 5 Nations.
Go back. How come you're doing 2 games?